So about the education background of Salva Kiir Mayardit, I think if there is misgovernance in the country, if there is bad governance in the country, it is not because Salva Kiir Mayardit is not educated, because we know all over the world there are countries that are developed, they are well governed, and they are being led by leaders who maybe not most of them have PhDs. Some of them are just degree holders. Others, for example, are non-degree holders. The example of which is former president of Kenya, Daniel Toroitich arap Moi. Daniel was a teacher, and it didn't hurt a bachelor degree, leave alone a PhD. But he was a good leader for Kenya, and that's why Kenya is where it is now because of the foundation which Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel arap Moi established in the times. So education, especially going to that highest level of PhD, being a PhD holder, is not the benchmark upon which one should be a president of a country or a prime minister for that matter. In most cases, PhD holders are researchers. They end up at universities where they do research and teach graduate students or those who are pursuing higher levels of education. And so to lead a country, to be a president, to be a prime minister, it is not a requirement that one should be a PhD holder. And also, if you are a PhD holder, nothing actually prevents you to be the leader, a president of the country. Just as nothing prevents a military general like Salva Kiir Mayardit to be a president of a country. Kiir, in this regard, is a perpetuated militant, is a military general whom his career is very well tested in the SPLA, where he rose from number 5 to the second position where he was under John Grant, and having led a formidable army, a guerrilla army, for 21 years is not something to be taken for granted. And so he is a well-established militant, he's a well-established military leader. And also he has been a leader of South Sudan as a country for many years now. And so he is qualified to be a leader, to be a president of a country. And so Peter is not having argument on this. I cannot even go back and say why Salva Kiir end up as a militant or as a soldier or as a commander in the SPLA. I will not elaborate that because Biar himself knows that his dad, for example, is not a PhD holder. And if his dad wants to be a leader of a community, a leader of his state, or if you want to be a South Sudan leader, I think we would judge him on his capability of what he had done in the past. The same applied to his father-in-law, Osmai. Hos is not a PhD holder, but if he aspired to be a leader of South Sudan, I think we South Sudanese would not say that Hos is not a PhD holder and therefore should not attempt to be a leader of South Sudan. So that argument, in my view, doesn't hold water, and it is an empty claim. A person of a Biar caliber, young, you are educated and well exposed, you know, to how well politics work. Education is of course very good. It paves the way. It gives you a lot of things, but it is not used as as something to disregard a person capability or a leader capability. America was founded by people, not most of them, were degree holders, leave alone PhD holders, and and it is the same case in other developed countries. So our problems as South Sudanese is not about. It's not only about leaders we have. It's not about Salva Kiir Mayardit. In my view, it is about our culture. Uh, yes, leadership has a role to play to change people. Leadership has a role to play to guide and direct the country. But then, we as people, we must also play our roles. And your role as a young person or as an intellectual is not to negate, you know, something that has been done. You have to speak out. Yes, you have to bring issues that are affecting uh, everyone in the country, that are things that are not good. Bring them forward, talk about them, but then try to devise solutions. This is our responsibility. But the element of our culture that I'm talking about, which is also our problems, is that we tend to go, when we criticize, we tend to go petty. We go on attacking personalities, attacking things that if we have them, we have to use the advantage of what we have as something to throttle or destroy the other person, you know. But in reality, all we should do is to compare and contrast. Use its negativity, highlight them out and bring the positive aspect on how to correct such negative things. And so when I say our problem is to do with our culture, we tend not to speak when the person doing wrong is someone closer to us. Take, for example, when Salva Kiir Mayardit was a deputy of late John Grant, I can tell you there was no one from Bor in general, and Twitch in particular, leave alone the tiny community Aulian, the section where John Grant came from. There were no one from that community speaking ill against Salva Kiir Mayardit. Why? Because Salva Kiir Mayardit was supporting John Grant. Salva Kiir Mayardit was brought closer to John Grant by none other than John Grant himself. There were leaders between John Grant and Salva Kiir Mayardit. But John Grant brought in Salva Kiir Mayardit closer to him. And so Salva was a good person to people who are related to John Grant, to people who are closer to John Grant. The negative part of Salva Kiir Mayardit, which we are talking about today, which Biar is talking about today, they were not seen by Biar people. And so that's why I'm saying we have that habit of talking good about people who are closer to us, people who are supporting us. But then we tend to turn away from their weaknesses because they are our relative, because they are supporting our relatives. If Salva Kiir Mayardit was weak, why was it hard for Biar relatives closer to John Grant and John Grant himself to see such weaknesses? So if today Salva Kiir Mayardit is a bad person, then we have to blame John Grant. It was John Grant who brought him closer to him. And it was automatic. If John Grant passed, like he died, then it is automatic that Kiir will take over because there is an hierarchy. This is how military work. And SPLA was a military leadership. And people now who are closer to Salva Kiir Mayardit, if they know something is bad, you rarely see them coming public talking about this. They are praising people who are supporting Salva Kiir Mayardit. But later, when such people, when one of them become a leader, say for example, one of the people supporting Salva Kiir Mayardit today become a leader and do what would be best for him or maybe for the entire country, those who are used to leadership, who have developed the mentality that leadership is only for them or to lead a country is the entitlement, they will turn around to talk negative about the person who was brought up by Salva Kiir, because then that person, they will realize that person is not a relative, is someone from other communities and he is doing what is equalizing them as everyone else. But because of their mentality of entitlement, they would go against him. That is what I say, the bad habit we have as maybe African in general or South Sudanese and Dinka in particular or Nilotics. We have that habit of trying to talk good about people who are closer to us and negatively about people who are far away from us. So the book you are talking about here is was written by someone whom, to my own understanding, his identity is unclear. So the authenticity of the book itself is questionable. I question that the book is not authentic. Perhaps it was written by a South Sudanese who has his political, you know, ideology, which is negating, which is against Salva Kiir Mayardit, which is against the SPLA, or which is against the established system in South Sudan. But then the book is used most predominantly, not implicating only Salva Kiir Mayardit, but the Dinka as a community. But if you read that book, you would see that there is no mentions of how the SPLA was founded or what the SPLA had done. The book is only talking about Salva Kiir Mayardit and leadership of South Sudan, forgetting that the issue between Dinkas and Nuer started in 1984 under leadership of John Grant. By then, Salva Kiir Mayardit was number 5. John Grant was the leader, followed by Carvino. The third person was William Yonbang. The fourth was Arok Thon. Kir was number 5. The issue between Nuer and Dinkas started in 1984 when Salva Kiir Mayardit was number 5. As a matter of fact, Nuer today claims that they were killed by thousands, that their properties were looted. By who? By SPLA, SPLM soldiers. And these SPLM and SPLA soldiers were led by John Grant, Carbino Kwanyinbul. And so in their mentality, they think that Dinkas leaders mobilized the SPLA against them. This is what led to 1991. And that was the reason Bor was destroyed. Cattle were taken in thousands. People were killed in thousands. And that's why we have what is called Bor massacre. So the antagonism between Dinkas and Nuer started in 1984, and it is that which led to 1991. That unfortunate incident is what led to end settlements. Bor is still unsettled. Bor Dinkas today are still hovering everywhere because the fabric of their culture, the fabric of their lives was hurt the most. And facts be said, Bor had never been, or it has never been the same since 1991 up to now. But no one is talking about that in that book. This is where I think the book is all about someone's interest. The person, the author, the person who wrote that book has his own intentions, his own interest. It is not about the interests of South Sudanese as people of South Sudan, or it is not about interests of South Sudan as a nation. There was an interest that is clouded or that is hidden, disguised as a revelation of what had happened. And so you as a person will look at himself as an intellectual. It is better for you, would have been better for you to have critical thinking about it, because you think you are contributing to something that will address the situation in the country. But in my view, and this view is shared by many people, you are fomenting more conflict. You are actually grounding, justifying that the two communities, the Nuer and Dinka, should be in perpetual antagonisms. They should perpetually see one another or see each other as enemies. This is what you are doing, Biar. And in the long run, this is going to hurt the country. Because if Dinkas and Nuers, the two big tribes in South Sudan, whom the history is has been on tablets throughout the liberation years, and recently in 2013 and 2016, it is good to look for something that would smooth out that bad relations, not something that will scratch scars. We want the wound of war the emotions that were stirred because of 1991 conflicts, 1984 conflicts, 2013 conflict, 2016 conflict. We want those emotions to calm down and see how best to govern a country, how best we as South Sudanese should come together and see ourselves as one people, as one united people to take care of ourselves, of our country, of our future. So when you call out weakness of governments, we have to be objectives. Because if we are trying to establish a government that is coming in with the mentality of vengeance, of trying to revenge, do you think people who are in government today, whether they are Dinkas or not, do you think they will easily, they will give up, they will give it up? If they know the government to be established is to revenge, is to come with a concocted ideas where Dinka is seen as immortal enemy of Nuer or other communities in South Sudan. And so you are jeopardizing the chances of the country moving away from the bad past to a future we will want. Thank you so much, Makeer.